I do think I'm winning the political fight. I think I'm winning it by a lot. I think that they are not espousing the views of our country, the 4 congresswomen. I think that they've said horrible things that the press doesn't cover.
But is he right? Is he winning the fight? Joining the debate tonight is liberal commentator Roosevelt Mitchell and political strategist and former Missouri State Senator John Loudon. Thank you so much for joining us both, gentlemen. Let's go right for the jugular. Is he winning the fight? And if so, why? John, start with you.
He's absolutely winning the fight, and it starts with what he's produced. By every measure, things are awesome in America, from unemployment at all-time lows, minority unemployment at all-time lows, minority home ownership, all-time highs, wages increasing. By every measure, he's performing awesomely as president. And so when people make hits at him like this and say, oh, well, he's just a racist, I think it just falls short. People are far more worried about what he does than his tweets.
Roosevelt, your opinion, your thoughts here. Is he winning? Are things that awesome in America?
Well, with him being the leader of the free world, he's supposed to uphold this idea of our country's motto, e pluribus unum, out of many one, not chasing people off, especially those who are serving elected officials inside the government. Now, he has some wins. But the way that he divides the country and speaks to particular sectors of his base is divisive. It's very divisive. So even in this last political stunt, if you will, he went after these four senators only after they got into it with their own party. So I think everything he does is calculated, but it caters to his base and it adds division.
And in fact, he went after those 4 congresswomen once again tonight in North Carolina. He called them left-wing extremists and left-wing ideologues. And that leads us to this tonight, because fresh off the heels of a victory of sorts in the House of Representatives today, that vote to kill an impeachment push, the president, he was raring to go. And this was the rally that I was just talking about in North Carolina. And in some ways, it was a greatest hits of sorts. The president hammering the same 4 freshman congresswomen, including Ilhan Omar. And this is how the crowd responded. President soaking it in right there. Their crowd chanting, "Send her back." So first, Roosevelt, I'll start with you. Your reaction to the spectacle.
Again, division. He's great. He's great at the political rhetoric in order to be divisive and to cater to certain sections of his base. See, he doesn't have to get up there and say those things. He has, some of his base to say it. And not all of his base is like that, but he knows how to speak to every section of his base in order to for them to follow whatever he's saying. So him going after these 4 women and just mentioning their name, this is a large reaction that he got, which is, again, is divisive.
John, if tonight's reaction is any indication whatsoever, it certainly seems like he's winning here, at least with the party base. So is this now a campaign strategy for him? Is it less about going after the 2020 contenders and more about vilifying the squad?
I think it's about keeping focus on the prosperity and how great things are. And when you've got 4 people that make a living, make political careers out of attacking people and the status quo and saying how bad things are, I think it was just a natural thing. We've all had that girlfriend or boyfriend who's complained about who they're dating, and they're always complaining. And you look at them at some point and say, well, if it's that bad, why don't you leave? It's a rhetorical trick to call people's bluff. America is awesome, and the president wants to keep focused on the progress. And when you have ne'er-do-wells that just complain all the time and really are dangerous in what they're proposing, I think they make a good foil for the president. I think he's taking full advantage of something that these extremists, who are extremists by any measure, I mean, the anti-Semitism out of all 4 of them is just staggering. So I think it's great to keep the focus on them and show the contrast of how great the country's doing.
Roosevelt, how worried should the Democratic Party, I'm sorry, please respond first.
I was just about to say, I don't care what company or you go inside, if you get a white CEO who walks in and 4 black or brown women state that they're having issues and he tells them, go back where you come from, I mean, it's going to be media, there is going to be a lawsuit because those are racist statements within itself. When you tell those people that and no one else. And I undoubtedly believe that President Trump uses as a political strategy to take the attention off the candidates, but to put it on these 4 freshman representatives in the Democratic Party and try to make them the face because, you know, he easily can get reelected if they are the face of the Democratic Party and not any one of the candidates. So, yes, I think this has turned into a great political strategy on his behalf, and I think that's why Pelosi want to kill the whole ordeal and stop all of the attention going on them and get back to the candidates.
And actually, I'm glad you brought that up. Do you think that today's failed impeachment push in the House of Representatives, was that as much of a win for Nancy Pelosi as it was for the president? John?
You know, that's a good question. Nancy Pelosi has a struggle, no doubt about it. And it is interesting as a Republican to see the chinks in the left-wing alliance really showing its, you know, being exposed.
Right.
And so I think Nancy Pelosi, I guess you could call it a win that it didn't happen, but it's a Pyrrhic victory.
Yeah.
She still has this crazy fringe trying to create, distract from doing the work the nation needs to be done and talking about impeachment all day long. She doesn't like it at all.
John and Roosevelt, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate your time.